Hey everyone, Craig Williams here, back with another video. In this video, I'm going to show you um, some techniques for mixing, but more importantly, some routing stuff. So when you've got your track starting to sound good and you're starting to get more in depth with the mixing, uh, these are some techniques and some things you can use to sort of ease up the CPU on your computer, have a bit more control, and hopefully in the end, which is the main thing, make your track sound a little bit better. So there's a couple of different ways that I like to use buses. This is a project that I've used no buses at all, so I'm going to go through and show you some of the ways that I would use the buses in this. So this is as you can see at the top here, it's a little bootleg I did of Tiger, which you can download as of today via the music blog Gotta Dance Dirty. So I'll just give you a little bit of a listen. Bit more volume there.
City, bitch, Rack City.
So you get the idea there. It's like a bit of a sort of techno, tech housey little bootleg that I did. So we'll start off first with some really simple sort of ways that I would use a bus. So for the first one, we've got these two. We've got two claps here. So actually, let's go double that up and pull it up to there. I thought that these were on the beat, but we can go like this and we'll just cheat. So say we had these together, and we wanted to sort of, one way you can use the bus is to glue them together a bit more. I use this a lot with kick, so if I have like an 808 kick and I want an attack, because sometimes the 808 doesn't really have that nice little clicky attack, I'll come along, and I think in Ableton it's called grouping. It's the same thing. You're just sending, so we've got our two channels here that I've selected. We can come along, select the output to a bus. So for this one, we'll go to bus 20. No reason to send it to that except it sounded like a good number. And this is bus 20 here. I want to send that to my master bus. I have mine set up as bus 50, but a lot of people it's just they'll have it so it is the stereo output. I just send it to 50 just for another reason, which is not even to do with any of this. So I'll come along, and always good to name it, clap bus. We've already selected the output that we want it to go to, and then I just go like that. And then what it does is brings up, here's a clap bus, come up to here, drag it up, and solo that out. We've got those running both to the same one now, so you can see there. And then one thing you can do if you want them to sound a bit more together is you can start to apply EQs, compressors, whatever, and then it's combining them to those two sounds. So we want to take a bit more of the low end out. And then one good thing to do when you want to glue sounds together is just add a little bit of compression to them. I've already compressed mine in both stages here. I've compressed that one, but I haven't with that one. You can just come along and come along here. about 2 dB there. Just sounds like it's got a little bit more energy in there, and then obviously you want to be checking that in the mix. Just sounds a little bit brighter. So there's one little technique that you can use for buses and stuff like that. Another good thing to do is if you've got the same EQ applied to both, like if you have or if you have like multiple sounds that are all running in, so say you've got like hi-hats or something like that, you could bus them all together, and instead of applying EQ and compression to every single channel, you can just apply it to the bus, and then you save yourself a bunch of CPU, which is really good when you're working like on a laptop or your computer isn't very powerful. All these little things can really help give you that little bit of extra, to help your CPU kick along. So another example for that is down here. I've got all the effects that I'm using that come along, and we can highlight them, and I'm just holding down Shift as I go along and click all them, so then when I go to the mixer view, there's all my effects. So I'll come along, do the same thing again, we'll send it to 25 this time, come along, select my master bus, come along, effects, bus, zoom out, and it'll be up here. I like to put mine under the last sound, so as I'm looking at it, I can go, these two sounds are going into this bus, and if these were going into a bus, the next channel will be that bus. So it sort of lays it out a little bit better for you. And for these, some of them don't have any plugins on them. They just sort of sounded pretty good as they were, but for the purpose of the exercise, I'll just go through, and you can see here, we can come along. This is a good time that you can just take out a lot of the lows for things that aren't really needed, and instead of applying that same EQ to all of them, I've just applied it to that one, and we're good to go. Same, you can just send that reverb to all of them. Makes it a lot easier. And any other effects you wanted to apply to all of those. And then when it comes to the mixing process, you can get your effects all dialed in, and then when you're mixing it, you might go, oh, the effects are a little bit high, you just pull them down, and that applies it to obviously all of those. Some other good little ways to do it is a kick and bass. So we can pull this up and come along. We've got these. Do the same thing again. Set it to 19 this time. Set it to my master. Right out. Again, like I was saying before, under the last channel there, and then from here we got the kick and bass. Obviously we want that to be mono. Come along, and for the purpose I'll just solo that. So you can come along if you really wanted. Just tightened up just a little bit more, and you could also add a compressor on here, and then it's going to help the two parts sort of sit together with the compressor. So Don't want it too much because we've already compressed the kick and we've already compressed the bass. So if you add another bunch of compression on here, you're just going to lose that. You're going to lose the dynamics out of it. So instead of like really punching it down, we just want it to help glue. So when the kick's coming on, it usually will just make the bass duck and so on and so forth. So you can see it's sort of reacting more to the kick, and that's what we want. We want the kick to punch through a little bit more on this track. So pull this down to 0. But now we just want to go pretty fast and around 97. Put it up 2 dB. You can really hear on the listen for the attack of the bass, and you probably need some like headphones, or if you got some good monitors, you can really hear the attack of the bass come a little bit sharper when. And that's another little way, and then if we pull that into the track. So there you go, there's another little tip. And all these can really help. I found when people are sending me tracks, the real big thing that's sort of lacking overall is the mix. A little bit more time and care needs to be taken with the mix to help it. There's a lot of elements people are putting in the tracks, and if you can't hear them, well, it's kind of a little bit wasted. So just spend a little bit more time and like really going through and giving it a nice solid mix. There's a bunch of stuff that you can read, but I think the best thing you can do is just to mix more. Like just get in there, make more stuff, and then go back and really mix your tracks a lot more. And then once you're happy with it, maybe give it a rest for a couple of days, work on some other stuff, and then come back and then listen again, and you'll be able to hear some different stuff with fresh ears, and obviously listen to the stuff on as many different systems as you can. Don't feel the need once you've finished something, or once you think you've finished something, just to put it out on SoundCloud as whatever, or like send it to all your friends. Like hold on to your stuff for a little bit longer. The world's not going to magically disappear because you didn't get your track out on time. Like just let your material sort of sit for a little bit, and then like a lot of times I've gone back to a track that I've left and given it another mix, and it's made it sound 10 times better or stuff like that. So you don't feel this inherent need to just put out stuff so you're constantly giving out material, or you're constantly putting out material. Just make sure the stuff that you do put out is just nice and solid. So that's just sort of my sort of 2 cents on that sort of thing. Obviously you can go, there's no limit with the mix, with creating buses and stuff like that. Another good one to do is your drum bus. Well, I tend to still leave out the kick because I want that to sort of go on its own, but you have a drum bus of like all your percussion and stuff like that, and then you apply a nice compressor to that and it will glue it together. And especially if you use samples from a bunch of different drums or different sounds, that can really help glue them all together and make your drum sound a lot more cohesive and just a lot tighter. Apart from that, it's just I'd be sort of going over the same stuff again. So hopefully you guys got something out of it. Again, these are just sort of intro things into some different ways you can mix, instead of just having every track going out and then into the master bus. Just having start grouping your things up, and then you can sort of pull in the mix a bit more and make it a little bit tighter. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit me up on Facebook, and there's a bunch of free samples when you click like on there. And also on SoundCloud, always giving out free music, and also on Twitter to keep up to date on everything like that. So if you got any questions, feel free to leave a comment below, and I'll try and get around to it. And until next time, see you later.